From quiet mornings to city lights, every story earns its right. No filters, no favors, just the truth all day long. This is the Pulse of Jonesboro.
Hello, and welcome to the Pulse of Jonesboro. I am your host, and I am Jeremy Terrell. Guys, thanks for tuning in today. I appreciate you continuously showing up each and every day, showing up each and every week, depending on how you're watching Facebook, whatever it may be. Just to let you know, give you guys a little bit of a understanding of what we're doing. We currently are averaging somewhere around 35 to 40,000 views per day, and that's been in the last 28 days. So we're approaching 1 million views in the last 28 days, and so keep sharing, guys. This is important. Your voices matter, and we need to make sure that each and every one of you are being heard, and that our elected officials are being held accountable, and that they know that you are paying attention. So let's jump into today. I want to talk a little bit about what's been going on with the City Star stuff and just get it out of the way. Because to be honest with you, like it's frustrating. Nobody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, in my opinion. And I need to just vent just for a brief second, and then I'm out. We're going to talk about something else. So this is where I stand. The current mayor has responsibility, and he has taken zero. And that frustrates me, and it frustrates a lot of you, that there has been zero accountability. When you give money to an organization, whether you know anything was happening or not, and you did no accountability, you took no accounting, you had no reference to what's been going on or any of that stuff, you had no audits, no nothing, you don't even have a contract. That is your responsibility. And last thing on that one, you stood up in front of the city of Jonesboro at a city council meeting, and you played some weird game. And that weird game was you stood up in front of the citizens of Jonesboro, and basically you, in my opinion, degraded them by this look it up thing. And you avoided many things that you said, look it up. And here's my last take on this, and at least for this week. When you tell a lie the first time, it's questioned. When you continue to lie, it becomes almost like a norm, and it softens people, and it causes people to basically get away from it and they just get fed up, and so they start ignoring it. And then almost to when that lie becomes the norm. And that's what's happening. You know, LJ hit it perfectly, the gaslighting, whatever you want to call it. That's what's happening. And Mr. Mayor, I promise you're not going to get rid of this. You will be held accountable. There will be a day where the people of Jonesboro will have a say. And you can either do one of two things. You can either do the right thing or continue to do the wrong thing. Take responsibility, own up to the situation, do what's right from this point forward. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So that's it on that situation. The other situation I want to talk about is the crime situation. Now, it was reported that we have decreased our crime. We went over just a little over 18,000 crimes in 2025. So to put that in perspective, I think we had, let me see if I can find it, 20,615. So they reported 18,041 in 2025 and 20,615 in 2024. So overall, that's a decrease in crime. And I want to talk a little bit about this because you guys have heard me say in the past, there's things that aren't even reported. And let me tell you one of the things that that does not even get reported. And this is frustrating. And don't get me wrong, a lot of this has to do with other entities, the state, and so forth and so on. So um, uh, here's the deal. So the state crime lab won't accept uh, prints or DNA evidence on a vehicle from break-ins. And that's been, I don't know how long that's been going on, but that's been going on for a few years. And so they won't even take that evidence. The JPD does not have the equipment in order to do that kind of investigation. And so what is happening is there is no investigation. So I don't know if those statistics are being put in there. If I know that there's a policy to not even investigate them. So if there's a policy to not even investigate them, does that mean that there's a policy to not even record them? And I really want to know that because that makes a huge difference in this number. You know, the other thing that is very concerning is this number, and that's simple assaults. So last year it was 683. The year before that it was 688. The year before that 616. The year before that 637. So, you know, basically within 50 over the last 4 years, give or take. This year, or last year, 2025, it was 825. So that's an increase of roughly 150 of simple assaults. Now, here's what a simple assault is. A misdemeanor offense involving the intentional knowing or reckless attempt to cause minor bodily injury to another person, or intentionally placing them in fear or intimidation, harm, typically with using a weapon. So that's way up this year. And some other things that are up, which are concerning, is gun violence. And they don't even have a line on that one. At least I can't really find it. So we do know that gun violence is up. We did our research and we have found that there was more gun violence or shootings or whatever you may want to call it, classify it as this year than there was, or in 2025 than there was in 2024. So simple assaults is on the rise. There's some other things that are on the rise, but I really question this thing that I said about like breaking into cars and stuff. And I don't know what we need to do about that. In my opinion, we need to be writing grants to get the ability for us to do our own work then. Like, I don't know what the rules are. But your job is to make sure that we are being protected. And if we can't do anything with somebody breaking into our vehicles, that's a big problem. I know personally, I've experienced this here at my house, and my whole neighborhood did actually, where some kids came through and went into multiple cars, broke into, I don't even know, 20 to 30. And I think that day there was, some more in some other areas. I never heard anything. Don't get me wrong, the officer that came out did his job and was great. I truly appreciate him. But, I don't know where it went. And I'm assuming nowhere, because the state's not going to do their part. They can't take any forensic evidence or any of that stuff. And it's just a big concern. And at some point in time, we've got to move our police department in the next direction, which is up. Now, you guys have heard me be incredibly critical. And again, this has nothing to do with the person. It just has to do with the person doing the job. We have to make a 100% change in the police department. Now, I've been told that the chief and the assistant chief both are on retirement status. Like they're literally months away from retirement. And if that's the case, I don't know, maybe we transition somebody right now into that position, somebody qualified, somebody that everybody respects, somebody that knows what they're doing, somebody that truly takes to heart what it means to run our police department and know what to do each and every day to make sure that we're safer. And it has to be done. It has to be done like ASAP. This has been going on. This situation that I've talked about now for, ever since the debate in August or September of 2024, I've been talking about this, and everybody knows it, and we continue to do nothing. We have now lost several more police officers to surrounding towns, several more, and I have heard through the grapevine that we have either laid off or firing or some other officers for them doing some really dumb stuff that they shouldn't have. And so that's going to leave us short again. And so we're losing them, and faster than we can replace them, faster than we can train them properly. And this is all a sign of those that are at the top. City council, listen to me. If you do not hold the mayor accountable to this, we will be reaping the benefits in a negative real soon. So the men and women that wear the uniform deserve people at the top that are going to make sure that they are the best, well-trained, well-supported organization in Arkansas. We were that at one point in time. We were the best of the best in Arkansas. And now we're not. And it's not any indication of the people that put the uniform on every day. This is the support that they get from the top. They don't get the training that we used to do by any stretch of the imagination. They don't get the support that they used to by any stretch of the imagination. And listen, if either one of you at the top don't agree with me, please, we will do this, and we'll do it civilly right here on the Pulse of Jonesboro. But enough's enough. I'm tired of seeing good police officers leave the JPD to go to other towns. It's heartbreaking. It's frustrating. And I know of others that are done, fed up, over it. And it's got to change. It's got to change. Along with a lot of things, but this is a major one. So this is today's podcast. It absolutely has to change. Again, nothing about the person. This is about the way that they do the job. Our chief currently right now, in my opinion, is, I don't know, like an extension of the mayor, like a political arm now. I'm not 100% sure. He's a good man. Like, he was one of the best detectives Jonesboro had, bar none. Was a great detective, great police officer. I don't know, what happened in the midst of then to now, but I do know what's happened. He's just allowed the assistant chief to demoralize the department. The morale is down big time, and it's been down for a long time. And people are frustrated. People get aggravated, and it's not the new ones normally. It's not the guys that get in the car every day and protect us each and every day, but it's the upper management of the police department. And I'm not saying all of them. It's not 100%, but it's a huge portion. It's a huge portion. We have lost sergeants, lieutenants. We've lost them to other areas because of what's going on within our police department. At the top. Look it up, Mayor. Look it up. This is facts. And it's frustrating. We have to have those core individuals still here to make sure that they're training the next generation of JPD for our town. This is not a negotiation. They are one of the most vital parts of our entire town. One of the most vital parts. We can't do it without them. We can't do it without the fire department. We can't do it without ASU. we can't do it without St. Bernard's. We can't do it without NEA Baptist. We can't do it without Hydro. There's players in this that we can't do it without. But we keep ignoring these things. We don't build the relationships between Jonesboro and ASU. They try, but they just don't know how to do it. It's crazy. Hydro should, I don't even know. Hydro almost, in my opinion, in some ways, should be right beside ASU when you're pulling into town, like on the sign, because they're that incredible to us, because they have a worldwide presence that is in some cases, especially throughout the United States, in some areas, the best. I mean, they've got a reputation that's phenomenal. Our hospitals, I wish were better as far as like being in the top of the state. I mean, I really, really wish that they would get to 5, 4 and 5, or 5 and 6. One of them's in the top 10, the other one is not, but we should be in the top 5. Now, we've got unbelievable doctors and nurses and people that work there. I mean, they're phenomenal. One of my best friends is a doctor. We have nursing friends. We have people that, great family friends that have been at St. Bernard's and NEA and continue to be. They're awesome. They're fantastic. There's just some stuff. There's procedures. There's other things that have to be done in order to get them to be in the top 10. And it's okay for us to demand that as citizens that support them. I mean, we're the reasons, Northeast Arkansas is the reasons why both of these entities, these hospitals exist. And we need to make sure that it's okay for us to say, hey, man, can you step it up a little bit? Just because you're the only, group that, you pull from 500,000 people and, you don't care. I guess maybe it's just a number game instead of actual like service. But one does, I mean, I'll just say it. NEA outperforms as far as a statistical thing that is reported through the state. NEA has outperformed St. Bernard's in the last several years. I want them both to increase. I want them to go to be in the top 5. Like it should be something that you guys talk about each and every day. And if it's not, shame on you guys. They got, we can't do it without them either. This is a fact. They are a massive economic engine, massive, farming, ASU, the hospitals, things like Hydro, all massive economic engines here. And we can't do it without them. But it's okay for us to say, man, can you do better? Because you can. And if you're not searching the ways to be better, shame on you guys. You should be better. I mean, from what I know from Hydro, man, they constantly are like, how do we be better than we were the day before? How do we improve? How do we meet the next generation of conveyors and so forth and so on? They are constantly moving and being innovative and reaching goals and setting goals and reaching them again. And, I know that ASU's been up and down and they're fighting it, but man, I think they got a couple of things that really is in the right positions to make sure that they push, some things going in the right direction. But, they got to do it, but they do need the support of us. I had this conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and it was, hey, he saw my clip on, we got to quit doing so many rentals. And it's true. We have to quit doing so many rentals. And, and he said, well, we got to do it because that's what the market is pushing. Yeah, we're creating that market. We're not creating a market of sustainability. It's not sustainable. When you have overwhelmingly more rentals, you overstress almost everything in the community. It's statistical facts. You overwhelm the police department. You overwhelm the hospitals. You overwhelm it. And we want to be a thriving community that takes care of everybody that lives here. And we absolutely 100% need to make sure that that's what we're doing. City council, you have to do your job. You have to know these numbers. You have to understand the economic drive of successful cities. You guys are just rubber stamping everything that comes down the pipeline. I rarely hear a no. It's crazy. It's crazy. You guys are supposed to educate yourselves to make sure that you're providing the best version of Jonesboro and for the future. And you're letting the mayor pretty much drive it all, or I don't even know what's driving it. I really don't. I think we're off the freaking rails, to be honest with you. But we are an amazing city. We have amazing people. We have national and world headquarters for businesses right here in Jonesboro. We have events throughout the year that are like no other events, especially around here, definitely in Arkansas. And they're here, right here in Jonesboro. And yet we don't capitalize on those things. We don't really promote these things. Listen, downtown does a good job. Support them because they're just somewhat doing it right. I don't agree with everything downtown. Don't get me wrong, but I don't have to agree with everything downtown. I want downtown to succeed. Jonesboro is probably the best thing that the chamber's doing. I'm hoping that they're successful in a lot of ways. They're trying to help elevate ASU's connection with Jonesboro. Man, I'm praying for that success. They're working hard. That young lady, and I apologize if I forget your name. Maybe you don't want me to say your name, but you do a great job, and just keep it up. And hopefully the support is there. But as far as the rest of it, I don't know. So I want to leave you with this. The Pulse of Jonesboro is making a move. You guys have heard me say this. We are making a move. We're going to have a new studio here, maybe next week. If not next week, probably the week after. We're going to have some highlights and talk about this election that's coming up. We're going to talk about the primaries. We're going to talk about who won and kind of give you our overall understanding of what's happening. And we'll give you an overview of that. We may do an overview right before the election. It won't be before the early voting happens, but we're going to do an overview of everybody. I want you guys to go. We've videoed Curtis Hitt and Brim Hall. We've got a partial of Moody that we're trying to finish up. Hopefully we'll have that done this week. And then we'll post them all. We'll put them all on YouTube. We'll post them all so you guys can go see them. We're going to talk about, what's coming up with our elections. And these are important. But after, we're definitely going to talk about them because, again, the Pulse of Jonesboro is here to make sure that we hold them accountable. I had somebody ask me the other day, what's your overall objective? My overall objective is to make sure that every elected official, I don't care whether it's school board, city council, JP, mayor, the judge, county judge, I don't care who it is, every single one of them are going to know that you and I are watching, that we're going to ask the tough questions. And if they don't do their job, they're going to know that you and I know about it. That's the goal. And we're doing it. The numbers show it. 35, 45, sometimes 100,000 views a day we have had in the last several months. It's crazy. We're almost at 1 million views in the last 28 days, and that is because you guys are awesome and you care what's happening. Now, we also have put some podcasts out. We're going to put another one out. We're going to double up this week, but we won't promote the one about Independence County, but go look at it because what's happening over there in Independence County could possibly be the next county around us. So go take a look at that podcast. That'll be up, that episode. That'll be up hopefully this weekend, maybe right after this one or simultaneously with this one. Guys, I appreciate you. Look forward to the new studio. We're doing great things, and we have 3 more segments coming to the Pulse of Jonesboro. One of them is going to be incredibly positive, and we're going to do the job of some of the entities that are not doing the job here in town. So, guys, Love you. Appreciate you. Have an awesome week, and we will see you next week. Take care.